story. I'm Annie's Aunt Susan. But before I tell you my story, I just want your friend who mentioned about I sell toilet paper, I just want you to know when that line came up in our family, the Cole family, Grockwell family, and this is pun intended, it was the butt of many jokes. my father had a field day with that. Okay, so as far as the story I want to tell you, this is really related to Annie, of course, and illustrates her absolutely delightful and wonderful sense of humor. And it's emotional, because it does deal with her father, who is no longer with us. But I know many of you knew Joe, and there's, of course, many of you who did not. But on this particular occasion, Kathy and Joe had a house, a lake house, and I was up there with, I know my children, and I remember my parents were there, and I think it was an Easter holiday. And Joe had had a wonderful sense of humor as well.
I know, isn't it?
I
feel bad though, he can't defend himself right now.
It was, well, anyway. So Joe had this tendency of falling asleep anywhere, anytime.
Just resting his eyes.
Resting his eyes.
But he was asleep on this occasion. And Annie decides, the bright girl that she is, let's paint his toenails. So Annie, with her bright red nail polish, comes down and paints each one of those 10 toenails. No. Well, I have to tell you, we were all hysterical. We could not control ourselves because he slept through the whole thing. He never opened his eyes while she's painting these toenails. The next morning, we're all waiting very patiently for Joe to say something to us. We waited all day. Joe never said a word. Finally, as I think some of us were leaving, and we said, Joe, do you notice anything strange? And he told us, yeah, when I was taking a shower this morning, I looked at him and that was the first time Joe noticed his toenails. But that is our Annie.
Well, we're going to continue with the Annie stories. I'm Annie's Aunt Laura, and I just want to warn Ramsey, you owe me something, okay? When Annie was about 7 years old, she decided she wanted someone to braid her hair in the 40 million little tiny braids. So of course Annie had me wrapped around her little finger, and I'm like, oh, of course Annie, I'll do that for you. So we're sitting down, and after about 45 minutes, I can hardly move my fingers, my wrists are aching, and I say to her, well, Annie, you better remember this when I'm old. Well, Annie, in her 7-year-old naivete and all the love in her heart, looks up at me and says, oh, Aunt Laura, you can move in with me when you're 40. I passed that. I do want to say to Ginny and Wally, what a wonderful son you have. And, okay, I'll calm down here. My parents had the opportunity to spend time with Ramsey, and they just loved him. Every time they would leave, they would turn to us and say, or my father would turn to my mother and say, Kay, Ramsey is such a great guy. I'm so glad our Annie found him. And we just love him so much. And I know both sets of your grandparents are looking down And the beautiful weather is because of that. So thank you for raising such a wonderful son. And we're
I'd like to first of all thank Virginia and Wally very much for having me out. Having all of us out, but especially me. You guys might not know this, but courtesy of multiple houses of theirs, my head was split open. Stitches here, stitches there, baseball bats, shallow ends of pools. It was terrible. Thank you for inviting me, because I know I have a lawsuit waiting now. I'm going to stay away from sharp objects out of the bed. Try to stay away. And I may refer to him as Bug a few times in this speech that I'm going to give about Bug Ramsey. I call him Bug because he bugs people. He bugs the hell out of a lot of us. It's a good thing sometimes. Most times it's annoying, like a mosquito. But the first time I met Ramsey was it was a bus in middle school. He was a mouthy guy with a New York accent, and he loved the Chicago Bears. Loved them, Chicago Bears. I couldn't talk more about it. It was just weird because they won the Super Bowl in 1984, right? That was the last time they won the Super Bowl, which coincidentally was the last time Ramsey had a full head of hair. He's on a 20-year slide right now. But I've been friends with Ramsey for a long time, and I went up to Trinity one time, where a lot of these guys are from Trinity College. Great college. A lot of guys who wear clothes like these normally, which is different for me. Usually I'm in naked, but I met Frank up there, which is Ramsey's twin. Wow. And it took everything I had not to ask Waleed, what were you doing like 30 years ago? Virginia, look, business trip, I don't know. But they looked exactly alike. It's bizarre. It's uncanny. But you know,
I'm in back here.
But now that I see you guys have gotten older. You know, I see Frank, I see Ramsey. Ramsey's lost a little hair. They don't look so much alike. Ramsey looks more like Frank's balls. Oh. Anyway, so I couldn't think of a whole lot of things nice to say about Ramsey. I couldn't. I figured there's no one better to tell you how wonderful Ramsey is than Ramsey himself. Now that he's had a few drinks in him, I'd like for him to come up here and tell you. All right. Here we go. 20%. Let me start off by thanking all of you. I mean, this is going to be one of the happiest weekends anyway. You are beautiful beyond words, but you got kind of lucky. I know I don't got a lot on top, but a big wig, you know. No, but in all honesty, Frank loved you. Brendan, what the hell was that smell? Definitely. I want to thank all my Trinity boys. Kevin, thank you for the pink shirt. It totally brings out the fact that you and I might have slept together. Grandma Utz, big time, love it. Anyways, look, I want to tell you all that I love the Bears, I love Tommy Ritter. He's a great guy, my favorite groomsman. In all honesty though, guys, here, we're going to do the sad part now. Annie, I want to tell you right now, obviously you guys both had histories and everything. You are the only person who has made Ramsey better. The only girl that I've ever met where he's been a better person to not only you, but to everybody around. He's a better friend when he's around you, and he's obviously one of my best friends in the world. I love him with all my heart. I love you with all your heart, with all my heart, and all of my heart too. Love you guys so much. So excited for tomorrow. God bless you guys. Cheers.
Not really a good jokester, so I'm going to cut straight to the sappy part because when I think of my Annie, it just melts my heart. She, during my hiatus of my boyfriend marathon, I had a semester or two being single, and I got the opportunity of getting to know Annie through Chris and Annie Katie time. And she was really one of the first people in my life, especially in college, that I gave my heart to. And Annie took such good care of it. And I think every girl in this room that's friends with Annie can say that. She takes such good care of all of our hearts. And she is just that special person that 20 people in this room can stand up and say she is their best friend. And not a lot of people in this world can be best friends to so many different people. So, when I was at the Sandusky, Ohio wedding.
She's the wingman. Wait, do your claim to fame. We really
wait. I met Ramsey, and I said, wow, Ramsey has that special quality. No, I'm just kidding. I really do try to claim. No, I'm not kidding about that. And the fact that I did not set them up, me and Amjad, we try to claim that we set these two up, and it really wasn't us because, I mean, fate, whatever you call it, I mean, the specialness that Ramsey has and the heart that Annie has, the two of them are inseparable, and they were meant to be. And I am so happy you two found each other. And no matter what comes your way, you're going to have an amazing life just because you have each other in your arms.
Grab the break.